Thanks for tuning in to Let's Talk About It Media 21. I hope you're having a great day. Stay positive, stay focused. Let's get to it. What is the hot topic that's going on YouTube or Instagram? Copyright disclaimer. Under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comments, news reporting, teaching, scholarships, and research. Fair use is use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. All comments are alleged, in our opinion, and for entertainment purposes only. Don't forget, the Cash App is Let's Talk About It Media. Thank you for all your love and support.
Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for supporting the channel. Don't forget to like, to comment, but be kind. And also turn on the notification bell. That way, every time I upload a video, you'll be the first one to see it. Don't forget, if you don't want to leave a comment, that's fine. Leave a heart, a thumbs up, a rose, and everything helps with the page. So we're going to get to Samantha Lee interview. She opens up about filing for divorce from Tyrese. If she had different people in her ear, she would not have filed for divorce. Mind you, she had a prenup. What I will say is this. She was told, once you get lawyers involved, it gets ugly. Allegedly, from Tyrese's words and mouth, she had 3 different lawyers. 3. These are people you can... You have to be careful in getting a lawyer. The lawyers are going to want your income, his income, and then they're going to want an upfront amount from your income. So she's got 3 different lawyers. She could be buying these lawyers allegedly a house, a car, or putting her kids in school. And now you feel guilty? And Tyrese, now I get why Tyrese said, if you feel bad, call off the lawyers. Because it's messing with his money. It's messing with the money that your child could have for the future. Let's get to this clip, y'all. Y'all know I'm a straight person in regards to conversation. You really have to listen to what a person is saying and feeling, and she regrets leaving. She regrets calling certain people that didn't really have a connection to her or Tyrese, and people were allegedly trying to tell her it's not that bad. But now she feels guilty. Call off the lawyers. Yeah, I agree with Tyrese. Call off the lawyers. Walk away. If you have a prenup, be satisfied with what you already got. Let's listen in. I'm stunned. Did she talk with Jada Pinkett Smith? Baby.
I work with women. I would never tell a woman to walk through that in the same frame of mind I was in when I did it.
And when you say that, but what frame of mind was that? What do you mean by that in particular?
I was very, very hurt. I was very angry. And I remember, like, when I made, like, the decision, I was, like, hysterically crying on the phone with my attorney. That was not the person I should have been on the phone with.
And she said she shouldn't have been on the phone with him.
That's a whole nother conversation.
That's a whole nother conversation.
I was hysterically crying. And I was not in any position to make that decision. I was extremely emotionally intoxicated. We can be intoxicated with our emotions because I would never tell, I work with women. I would never tell a woman to walk through that in the same frame of mind I was in when I did it.
And when you say that, but what frame of mind was that? What do you mean by that in particular?
I was very, very hurt. I was very angry. And I remember, like, when I made, like, the decision, I was, like, hysterically crying on the phone with my attorney. That was not the person I should have been on the phone with.
One, she said that's not the person she could have called, should have called. Because they're thinking money, sweetie. What are we gonna get from Tyrese? How much can I make from this phone call? I get paid by the hour. Honey, we're gonna go on vacation. Next
I'm
clip.
one, I'm very much emotionally led. I feel very strongly. I'm just that kind of person, very passionate. But I would never tell somebody to make that decision when they're that emotional. But of course, I wasn't talking to someone that genuinely would be for marriage, or for reconciliation. And that's not no slight to my,
No, it's
the
current
it's
friends.
not. Yeah, it has nothing. There's no slight to that. Not the friends, but I was on the phone with my attorney.
Yeah.
So it was something that was being said to me that hurt me at that time, and that so at that time when I was on the phone and I made that decision, I was livid. And I'm very much emotionally led. I feel very strongly. I'm just that kind of person, very passionate.
Very passionate. We get why Tyrese said what he said. We get why he was talking to us in a way that, from the what you were feeling, your emotions, I'm not in town to even consult with you. You took alleged masks to cover up the cameras and you took off. If he would have been in town, it might have maybe been different, but he was out of town. So she wanted an out. We could see that. But why? Why were you angry? What? And now Teresa's saying several people was in her ear, but other people were trying to convince her. What are you doing and why? Let's get to the next clip.
The truth about the matter is that if I had different people in my ear at that time, I would not have made that decision. No.
Wow.
I wouldn't. And that's the truth. I try my very best at this point in my life to be what I didn't have in that moment. Because I think that women were like, I'm an extremely emotional person. People that know me know that about me. I'm the kind of person that, like, okay, I feel so strong, and I can ruminate. I can get so lost in my thoughts. I know a lot of women are like that. Like, not all of us, right? But some of us are. Just like a lot of men can be like that. But I know women specifically, there will be moments where they'll be like, I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I'm ready to be done. I can't stand this. He don't do this. He don't do that. Blah, blah. The truth about the matter is that if I had different people in my ear at that time, I would not have made that decision. No.
Wow.
I wouldn't.
That's why Tyrese said she made a hasty decision, not so great of a decision, and he has a prenup. And these attorneys, allegedly she has three, these attorneys are doing everything they can to get him and basically drain his bank account. And now she feels guilty. So you lost a good, allegedly. We understand what Tyrese goes through. But I heard someone give him a compliment in regards to him being a gentleman, a kind person, a considerate person, a respectful person. They gave Tyrese high regards. So when you look at the DJ Envy situation, how he was trying to protect a marriage, but y'all wasn't trying to help him with his marriage, we now get it. We get it. He didn't want her. He didn't want DJ's Envy woman. He was trying to protect a breakup of a situation because Tyrese had that situation being a young child coming from a broken family. DJ Envy and his wife, Gia, has several children. So he helped that marriage. I don't think he was trying to press upon DJ Envy woman at all. Because when you look at the women he's had, yeah, let's get to this clip. Next clip.
When you get lawyers involved, and there was a therapist I was speaking to, both me and him, a marital therapist at the time, that when I told him my decision, he was like, when you get lawyers involved, it gets ugly. He told me that. And, I didn't even realize, I don't think I even realized how ugly it would get.
How vulturous they could be.
And like I said, if I could walk back in time, sometimes I battle with myself about that. But at that time, I thought I was doing the right thing or the best thing. I didn't know. I didn't know how ugly it could get. And I know a lot of women, we make that decision and we're so hurt and angry. And then 5-6 months later, you're not that angry anymore.
And you lost a good man, Savannah.
Kind of like still
and you're lonely
about him. I kind of still have these feelings for him now. And then when you get lawyers involved, and there was a therapist that was speaking to both me and.
So that's the guilt part. That's the regret part. I lost a good man. I'm single. Some of these guys are not doing what you did. And now I got these lawyers that's only in front of me for money. And I see it. I see it now. I see that they're seeking money as I walk through the door. It was money, money, money for these attorneys. And I was in my emotions. And now how do I backtrack? How do I get that good man back? How do I get the father of my child back in good graces as I've caused so much havoc? That's what she's saying.
I didn't know how ugly it could get. And I know a lot of women, we make that decision and we're so hurt and angry. And then 5-6 months later, you're not that angry anymore. Like, oh, this kind of like still care about him. I kind of still have these feelings for him now. And then when you get lawyers involved, and there was a therapist that was speaking to both me and him, a marital therapist at the time, that when I told him my decision, he was like, when you get lawyers involved, it gets ugly. He told me that.
So I'm going to go to the next clip because guess what? She's probably sitting around talking to her girlfriends, and her girlfriends are going through worse situations, sad situations, unforgivable situations. And her situations, I'm sure, we saw what Tyrese was going through. So that's no easy feat. But he got better. It was medication that made him allegedly that way. Next clip.
You now in the spirit of potentially even being able to rekindle a relationship, like rekindle that relationship, is your spirit in that place, or could it ever go back to that place?
It's loaded because of the fact that there's been so much that's happened, like there's been so much that's occurred. Okay.
She thinking.
It's my daughter's father. So I would say this. I would say that if we were both going to show up and we were both going to fight for it equally and sacrifice equally, like, things that I needed and, things that, he needed. I wasn't perfect.
Yeah.
Your girl ain't perfect. So I would say that if we were both willing to fight and we were both willing to do certain things, then yes.
Are you now in the spirit of potentially even being able?
She wants him back. She wants him back bad. She wants Tyrese back bad. Because what you had, the house you had, the love you had, the support you had, the conversations, and no, mind you, divorce and separation isn't easy. Dating someone isn't easy. But is this an 80-20 situation? Is this an 80-20 situation? You had an 80, now you have a 20. You have 20s around you. And you're like, wow, what did I do? And I'm continuing to take from the Tyrese, who was an 80, allegedly. From the people that talk about him prior to or after, they say